310, 420, 500 milligrams? Magnesium dosing isn't one size fits all, and there's so much conflicting info online, it's really hard to know how much you actually need. Hello, I'm Dr. Elizabeth Miller, naturopathic doctor, and I'm going to walk you through how to figure out how much magnesium you actually need. Just a disclaimer, this video is for educational purposes only and is not considered personalized medical advice. So any dosing discussed here is general, and make sure to speak to your healthcare provider about what's appropriate for you. So magnesium is one of those foundational nutrients that affects a lot in your body. Your sleep, your muscles, your stress response, and even your blood sugar regulation. But when patients ask me how much they should take, the answer is not always one size fits all. If we start with the general guidelines, most adults need somewhere around 310 to 320 milligrams a day for women, or 400 to 420 milligrams a day for men. So that's your total daily intake from food, supplements, and everything combined. But supplement guidelines are separate, so we'll get into that in a minute. But before we break down how much you should take, it's important we first talk about where magnesium comes from. So in food, magnesium comes naturally packaged with other nutrients your body recognizes. So foods like leafy greens, like spinach, kale, nuts and seeds, legumes, or whole grains, these tend to provide magnesium in a form your body generally recognizes and tolerates well. In supplements, magnesium is bound to different compounds like glycinate, citrate, malate, or oxide. Each of these behave a little differently in the body. Some are better tolerated, some are more likely to impact digestion, and some are absorbed more efficiently than others. So 200 milligrams from one form may not feel the same as 200 milligrams from another form. And that's partially because different forms are absorbed at different rates and contain different amounts of elemental magnesium, which is the actual magnesium your body can use. The added layer is that there's many situations that may be blocking your absorption or causing you to use up magnesium at a faster rate. So things like chronic stress, poor digestion, being on medications like birth control or acid blockers, caffeine and alcohol consumption, high intense exercise or sweating a lot, or even chronic diseases that increase inflammation in the body, so things like diabetes or autoimmune diseases. So all these factors can lead you to need more magnesium than the RDA for your age group. So two adults can take the exact same dose and have completely different results. Before I tell you how to estimate what would be a good dose of magnesium based on your health situation, let me walk you through what a high magnesium day through food looks like so you can understand if you're actually getting enough through your diet. So if someone was really prioritizing magnesium through food, their day might look something a little like this. So a smoothie with spinach, almond butter, and some chia seeds in the morning, maybe a quinoa bowl with some black beans and pumpkin seeds at lunch, and maybe almonds or dark chocolate as a snack, and then salmon with sauteed greens and brown rice for dinner. So that kind of day could easily give you 300 to even 500 milligrams of magnesium. So if you're eating like that consistently, you may not need very much from supplements, if any at all. So instead of thinking, what dose should I take? I usually frame it more like a top-up. If your diet is low in magnesium-rich foods, you might need around 200 to 300 milligrams of elemental magnesium from supplements. And one important thing to note about supplements is that the milligrams on the label do not always mean what you think they mean. So we'll break that down exactly what that means in the next episode. If your diet's pretty balanced, maybe 100 to 200 milligrams from supplements is enough. And if you're really intentional with your nutrition, sometimes you really don't need a supplement at all. Like I said before, there's also times where your body just burns through magnesium a little faster. So if you're under a lot of stress or chronic illness, if your sleep isn't great, if you're training intensely, or if you're on certain medications that can deplete magnesium over time, those cases you might need a little bit more. Often somewhere in the range of an additional 100 to 200 milligrams a day from supplements in addition to that magnesium-rich diet. So how much is too little or how much is too much? There's also an established upper limit for magnesium from supplements. So in the US, according to the National Institute of Health, that number is about 350 milligrams of elemental magnesium per day from supplements alone and not including foods. Some regulators like Health Canada allow higher supplemental intake, so up to 500 milligrams a day in certain contexts. But most general guidelines stick around the 350 milligram range. Since lab testing is not usually accurate for how much biologically active magnesium is in the body, you should base your intake also around your symptoms. And this is where listening to your body actually becomes helpful. So if you're not getting enough, you might notice things like muscle tension, poor sleep, or feeling more on edge than usual. On the other hand, if you take too much magnesium, especially from supplements, your body usually tells you pretty quickly. So things like loose stools, digestive upset, that's often your upper limit. So instead of chasing that perfect number, it's a better question to ask, What am I already getting from food, and what does my body still need based on its current state? That's usually where you'll find the right dose for you. In the next video, I'll walk you through the important factors to look at when choosing a magnesium supplement, because the number of milligrams on the label can be misleading. If this was helpful, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.